Hello, am I audible? Riba? Nida?
Can you scroll up?
Yes, Mohammed Umar. Do you want to ask something from last part? Okay. Next term in this chapter is resolution of vector. Resolution means splitting of a vector into their component. In last part, we are adding different components together to define you resultant. But in this part, if you have a resultant, you have to split that resultant in different corresponding component, which is called resolution. So resolution is the splitting of a vector into their component. Just 1 minute. Okay, so splitting of a vector into their component is termed as resolution. Now I'm defining you how you can resolve a vector into their component. So one method is to define on the basis of two-dimensional resolution. Let's say you have x-axis, y-axis, and there is a vector which having magnitude from this point to this point is A, which is inclined at some theta with respect to x-axis. So if you draw a vertical line from this point to this point and a horizontal line from this point to this point, so this will be x component of that vector, and this will be y component of that vector. So we have to calculate ax and ay with respect to A. So in this triangle, if you take cos theta, it will be base divided by hypotenuse. So ax will be equals to A times cos theta. Similarly, if you take sine theta, it will be perpendicular over hypotenuse. So it will be ay divided by A. So ay will be A times sine theta. So from this, we can conclude if there is a vector which is inclined at some angle theta, so the component adjacent to that theta, which is this term, will be termed as base component. So to get that component, multiply that resultant vector or magnitude of that vector by cos theta. Similarly, there is another component opposite to that theta, which will be y component. To get that part, multiply that magnitude of vector by sine theta. Just use these two concepts to find x component and y component corresponding to theta with respect to resultant part. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
I'm giving you one problem related to this. First, write it down. Have you all done? In this part, we have to calculate component of force and then write it in terms of Cartesian form. So let's say this is y-axis, this is x-axis, and there is a force having magnitude 10 unit or 10 Newton, which is inclined at 60 degree with x-axis. So if you draw a vertical line and a horizontal line, this will be fx from this point to this point, and this will be fy from this point to this point. Just use the above method to find x component and y component, and then a vector can be written in terms of Cartesian form as x component times I cap, y component times j cap. Try to find this. Should I solve, or you all are doing?
So it's my
You have to find its value. Okay.
okay. So is the method is correct, right?
Your method is right, but just put the value of each term. Good, Sabita. Using the above concept, whenever you have to calculate x component or a component adjacent to theta, multiply resultant by cos theta. Since f is 10 and theta is 60 degree, so cos of 60 degree will be 1 by 2. So it will be 5. Similarly, fy equals to f times sine theta. F is 10, theta is 60 degree, sine of 60 degree is root 3 by 2. So it will be 5 root 3. Now put these two terms in above expression, you will get f is equals to 5 times I cap and 5 root 3 times j cap. Is it clear? Rishan, is it clear? You all have written?
Yes, sir.
Now I'm defining you some concept related to this. Suppose
So can you scroll up 1 second? Thank you, sir.
simple pendulum. Suppose there is a support from which a bob is hanged by a string, let's say at some inclination theta with vertical. Since this bob would have some mass due to which it will get attracted by gravity towards vertically downward direction. So it will be m times g. Now if you extend this line in its own path along this direction, this angle and this angle will be equal using corresponding angle. So there will be another component perpendicular to it along this direction and along this direction. So in this part, mg is resultant, for which we have to calculate x component and y component. So the component adjacent to theta to that resultant will be termed as x component, and which will be calculated by multiplying that resultant by cos theta. So this will be mg times cos theta. So opposite component perpendicular to this will get or will be mg times sine theta. So this is how we can split a vector or a component into respective x and y term. Nida, is it clear?
Yes.
Suppose there is a wedge or a triangular plane on which there is a block which having mass. Let's say inclination of this wedge is theta. Since this block having some mass m, so it must be attracted due to gravity in vertically downward direction. So there will be vertical component along this direction. Now, if you further draw a component perpendicular to this plane along this direction, and there will be another component adjacent to this plane along this direction. So if this is theta, this will be 90 minus theta, as this is 90 degree. So sum of all angle in a triangle must be 180 degree. So this is 90 degree. So sum of these two angles must be 90. So if one of the angle is theta, so the other must be 90 minus theta. Now, since this line is perpendicular to this plane, so the sum of two angles must be 90. So this angle will become theta now. Now, just erase this part. Okay, Mohammed, I'm defining you. This is a vector which is acting vertically in downward direction. So this angle would be 90 degree. If this angle is theta, so this angle must be 90 minus theta. Is it clear till this part?
Yes.
Now, since this plane and this vertical line must be perpendicular to each other. So if there is a vector along this path, which having inclination from this point to this point is 90 minus theta. So this must be theta so that their sum would be 90 degree. Is it clear now? Muhammad Umar? Okay, just ask. If this is theta, this is 90 degree. So sum of these two angle must be 90. So if this is theta, this must be 90 minus theta, which I have written here. And for this line, which is perpendicular to this particular plane, sum of two angle must be 90. So if this is 90 minus theta, this must be theta. Okay. So you can erase it out. Now this is mg, which is resultant. Now we have to break this component into two parts, one along its adjacent part and one perpendicular to it. So adjacent part will be cos times of resultant and perpendicular part will be sine times of its resultant. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, just write it down.
Done, sir.
Rishan, any doubt? Similarly, we may split in 3 dimensions. Suppose we have this is x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. And there is a vector from this point to this point. Let's say A, for which it will have 3 components. One would be along x-axis, ax, which having inclination alpha with x-axis. Similarly, it will have y component from this point to this point, ay, and inclination with respect to y-axis is beta. And there is z component from this point to this point, and inclination with respect to z-axis is gamma. Now, using these components, we can write A in terms of vector as axi cap, ayj cap, and azk cap. Now, mod of A will be root under times ax square, ay square, az square. Now using this alpha, beta, and gamma, since alpha is with respect to AX component, so you may write AX is equals to A times cos alpha, or cos alpha will be equals to AX divided by A. Similarly, AY will be equals to A times cos beta, or cos beta will be equals to AY divided by A. And last, AZ will be equals to A times cos gamma, or cos gamma will be equals to AZ divided by A. So these are three components of a vector with respect to x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. Is it clear? Muhammad Umar, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay, just write it down. Now, there is one more relation in this part. If you square each term and sum up cos square alpha, cos square beta, and cos square gamma, this will be equals to 1. Or if you convert cos theta in terms of sine theta, you will get sine square alpha, sine square beta, and sine square gamma equals to 2. So just remember these two relations. Are we all done till this part? Riba, any doubt?
No, sir.
Rishan, is it clear till this part? You all have written? Okay.
Yes.
So this is all about resolution of vector. Next is to define product. For product, I'm defining you some relation. Let's say if you have a scalar multiplied by a scalar. Scalar is nothing but magnitude only. So magnitude on multiplying by magnitude, it will give you magnitude only. So it will be scalar only. Next, if a scalar get multiplied to a vector, so scalar will change magnitude of that vector only. So there will be no change in direction. So it will be vector itself. Now on vector, multiplying by vector itself. So we can multiply in two different ways. First is called dot product, and second is called cross product. So we have to mainly deal with these two terms. What do you mean by cross product and dot product? So first, dot product, or you can say scalar product. A dot B equals to mod of A, mod of B, and cos theta. This is formula of calculating dot product. Now I'm defining you first for unit vector. I cap dot I cap. So according to this formula, it will be mod of I cap times mod of I cap into cos theta. Mod of I is 1, mod of I is 1, and cos theta, as I cap defines you x-axis. So both these two I cap must be parallel to each other. So theta will be 0 degree and cos 0 will be 1. So it will be 1. So you'll get dot product of same unit vector I dot I, j dot j, and k dot k will be 1. Is it clear till this part?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, if you find for different unit vector, let's say I dot j. So it will be mod of I, mod of j times cos theta. Mod of I is 1, mod of j, which is unit vector along y-axis, so it will be 1. And x-axis and y-axis mutually perpendicular to each other. So theta will be 90 degree and cos 90 is 0. So it will be 0. And 0 multiplied with any number will give you just 0. So from this we can conclude dot product of any different unit vector, that is I dot j, j dot k, or k dot I, will be 0. Muhammad Umar, any doubt till this part?
No.
Good. Now using these two concepts, we have to calculate dot product using component part. So let's say A having 3 component X, Y, and Z. Similarly, B having 3 component Bx I cap, By j cap, and Bz k cap. So A dot B will be take Ax component and multiply it with this whole part. But if you multiply it, you'll get Ax into Bx I dot I for the first part. Next, Ax into By I dot j will be 0. So on simplifying it, you will get Ax Bx only, rest of the whole term will be 0. Ay By only, rest of the whole other term will be 0. Az Bz and rest of the all other term will be 0. Or I'm defining you Ax I cap, Ay j cap, Az k cap, component of first vector, which are multiplying with component of second, that is Bx I cap, By j cap, and Bz k cap. So using distributive law, if you expand its relation, you will take first component of this multiplied by each component of B. So it will be Bx, By, and Bz. Now, according to the concept, if you multiply Ax into Bx, I dot I will be 1, so it will be as it is. But if you multiply Ax into By, I dot j will be 0. Similarly, for the third part, Ax into Bz, I dot k will again be 0. So you'll get only this part. Similarly, if you take Ay, you will get only Ay By. Similarly, for third part, you will get Az Bz only. And the rest of the all other term will be 0. So A dot B equals to product of same component of each vector. Mohammad Umar, any doubt?
No.
Okay, just write it down till this part.
Done, sir.
Rehab, have you done? Rishan? Okay. Similarly, if you find mod of A using component, so it will be ax square, ay square, and az square, and magnitude of B vector will be root under x square, y square, and z square. Now, if you put all these values in above formula, you will get cos theta is equals to a dot b divided by mod of a and mod of b, which will define you angle between any two vectors. Nida, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay.
checking school one.
Just 1 minute. Now I'm giving you one problem related to this. If vector A is 2i minus j plus k, B is I minus 2j and minus k. Find first A dot B, second mod of A and mod of B, and then theta. Try to find. As we have derived above, for dot product, just multiply x component with x component, y component with y component, and z component with z component. Next, to find mod of A, just put all the values in this part. And on solving them all, put all the values in cos theta and try to find theta. So beta, just check your calculation, see the formula. Is there any x component or I component, j component, or k component in this dot product? You will say no. So this is also called scalar product. For this vector, component of I will be x, component of j will be y, and component of z, or k cap, will be z. Similarly, for vector b, bx will be 1, by will be -2, and bz will be -1. Good, Sabita. Just put these values to get a dot b. Mohammad Umar, just send me your answer. Riba, any difficulty while solving?
No, sir.
If you put ax, which is 2, bx, which is 1, plus ay is -1, and by is -2, az is +1, and bz is -1. So 2 into 1 will be 2, -1 into -2 will be 2, and 1 into -1 will be -1. So 2 plus 2 will be 4, -1 will be 3. So a dot b will be 3. Mohammad Umar, any doubt in this calculation?
No.
Okay. Similarly, try to find mod of x, mod of a, and mod of b. It will be root under ax is 2, so on squaring it will be 2 square. Ay is -1, and az is +1. So 2 square is 4, -1 square is +1, and 1 square is +1. So 4 plus 1 plus 1, it will be root 6. Similarly, if you put all the values in the second part, you will get bx is equals to 1, by is equals to -2, bz is equals to -1. So 1 on squaring it will be 1, -2 on squaring would be 4, -1 will be squaring on, it will be 1. So 1 plus 4 plus 1, it will be root 6. Now just put these values in this expression. You will get theta. Try to find. Nida, any doubt? If you put the value of a dot b to be 3, mod of a is root 6, mod of b is root 6. So it will be 3 divided by 6, or it will be 1 by 2. So cos theta is 1 by 2, so theta will be 60 degree. Is it clear? Rehab, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Rishan, any doubt? Okay. Muhammad Umar, are we done till this part? Now, using this dot product, we can define condition for orthogonality or perpendicular condition for two vector. If suppose vector A is perpendicular to vector B, it means theta will be 90 degree and cos of 90 degree will be 0. Therefore, dot product of them will be 0. So whenever you have to define perpendicular condition for two vector or orthogonality of two vector, take dot product and put it to 0. Is it clear? Now I'm giving you one problem related to this. If you have A is equals to 3i minus 2 lambda j cap plus k cap. B is equals to I plus j minus 4k. Find lambda for which vector A is perpendicular to vector B. Just use the above condition. Whenever two vector is perpendicular, their dot product will be 0. So take dot product of these two terms and put it to 0 to find lambda. Try to solve. as we have formula, dot product of n2 vector will be multiply x component of first with x component of second, y component of first with y component of second, and z component of first with z component of second, and put it to 0. Just put the value of each term and simplify it. Muhammad Umar, any doubt?
No, sir.
You have solved this?
Yes, sir. I've solved.
Just send me your answer. Riba, just send me your answer. Rehab, in this part, we have AX as 3, BX is 1, plus AY is minus 2 lambda, and BY is plus 1. AZ is 1, BZ is minus 4. So put it to 0. So it will be 3 minus 2 lambda minus 4 equals to 0. So minus 2 lambda minus 1 will be 0. So minus 2 lambda will be plus 1, or lambda will be equals to minus 1 by 2. Good, Sabita. Mohammad Umar, just check your calculation. Is it clear? Rishan? Okay. So this is all about dot product. Now there is some application of this dot product. First is work done. It will be dot product of force and displacement. Next is power, which is dot product of force and velocity, which we'll learn in more detail in chapter number 6. Okay, just write it down till this part. Riba, any doubt?
No, sir.
You all have written? Now, next term is cross product, which is also called vector product, for which A cross B equals to A cross B mod times n cap, and which is equals to A mod B mod sine theta n cap. So this is a formula. I'm defining you how to take cross product and how to define direction. If you equate first two terms, you will get n cap equals to A cross B divided by A cross B mod. So this n cap is nothing but a unit vector and which will be perpendicular on both A and B. So you'll say it is a unit vector perpendicular to both vector A and vector B. Similarly, if you relate first, second, and third, n cap and n cap will cancel out. So you'll get sine theta equals to A cross B mod divided by mod of A mod of B. Now for this, I'm defining you first for unit vector. I cross I will be mod of I times sine theta n cap. I, which is a unit vector, so its magnitude will be 1. This I, it will be 1. And both these two terms will define direction along x-axis. So they will be parallel to each other. So theta will be 0 degree and sine 0 will be 0 times n cap. And 0 multiplied with a number will be 0. And since it having a unit vector with it, so it will be 0 cap, which will also termed as null vector. A vector which having magnitude as 0 is called null vector. So from this, we can conclude cross product of same vector, I cross I, j cross j, or k cross k will be 0. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, similarly, if you take cross product of any two different vector, let's say I cross j, it will be mod of I mod of j times sine theta n cap. So it will be 1, 1. X-axis and y-axis will be perpendicular, so theta will be 90. Sine 90 will be 1 times n cap. So it will be 1 times n cap, which means there should be some unit vector which is perpendicular to both x and y. So it will be along z-axis, that will be k cap. I'm defining you this, how I got this result. Since cross product is a vector product for which there should be some direction. So how to define direction of resultant? So to define direction, use Fleming's left-hand rule. Which says, just stretch your 3 fingers, thumb, forefinger, middle finger, so they are mutually perpendicular to each other. So first, stretch your left hand fingers, thumb, forefinger, and middle finger, so that they are mutually perpendicular to each other. Now, how to define direction? Place your middle finger along the direction of first vector, forefinger along the direction of second vector, then thumb will define direction of resultant. So place your middle finger along first vector, forefinger along second, then thumb will point towards resultant. Is it clear? Rehab, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. So similarly, if you use this unit vector, we have x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. There is a vector along x-axis, which is I cap. Another vector, which is along y-axis, will be j cap. And third, along z-axis, which will be k cap. So in this part, if you move along I to j in anti-clockwise direction, the resultant or perpendicular to this will be along k cap. Just use your left hand finger. Put your first thumb, middle finger along x-axis, that is towards you. Forefinger toward right, then thumb is pointing vertically upward, which is along z-axis. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So you will say I cross j will be plus k, j cross k will be plus I, and similarly, k cross I will be plus j. So if you move in anti-clockwise direction, this product will be in positive direction. And if you move in clockwise direction, this is I, this is j, and this is k. So k cross j will be minus I, j cross I will be minus k, and I cross k will be minus j. Okay, just write it down till this part. Muhammad Umar, have you done?
Then I'm still writing.
Rishan, have you done? Nida, any doubt?
No, sir.
You all have written?
Yes.
Okay. Now the next thing is how to calculate cross product. So we'll use determinant method. Suppose you have A cross B equals to mod I cap, J cap, and K cap. Component of first vector, so it will be AX, AY, AZ. Component of second vector, BX, BY, and BZ. I'm writing it 3 times. I cap, AX, BX, J cap, AY, BY, and K cap, AZ, BZ. I cap, mod, J cap, and K cap, AX, AY, AZ, BX, BY, and BZ. Now, horizontal line will define rows and vertical line will define column. So if you define position of first I, so it will be in first row and first column. So position will be 1, 1. 1 plus 1 will be 2, which is even. That's why we put positive into it. Positive, positive. Similarly, for second J, which is at first row and second column, so 1 plus 2 will be 3, which is odd. So we'll put negative. Third K, which is in first row and third column, 1 plus 3 will be 4, which is again even. So it will be plus, plus, and plus. So this is how we assign sign of these I, j, and k. Now, how to expand it? So take first for I cap, take rows and column. Similarly, along column, it will be like this. So if you break along this, you will get I, and what you left with? AY, AZ, BY, BZ. So it will be plus of I cap mod AY, AZ, and BY, BZ. This is your first part. Similarly, if you take J in second part, that will be like this, and horizontal component with you will get minus of J cap times AX, AZ, BX, BZ. So it will be AX, AZ, BX, BZ mod. And similarly, if you define for third part for K cap, just draw a vertical line to this. And horizontal line to this. You will get plus of K cap times AX, AY and BX, BY mod. Now for this, just multiply. On going from top to bottom, it will be plus, but on going from bottom to top, it will be minus. Similarly for this part, and similarly for this part. So this is the determinant method of multiplying cross product for any two vector. So if you simplify it, you'll get plus of I cap times AY BZ minus BY AZ minus of J cap AX into BZ minus BX into AZ and plus K cap AX into BY minus BX into AY. Is it clear till this part? How to expand using determinant method? Muhammad Umar, any doubt? Nida?
No, sir.
Okay. In the last part, if you move from top to bottom, from this point to this point, take it as positive, but on going from bottom to top, take it as negative. Similarly for this part as well, and similarly for this part as well. So AY into BZ, which is this, minus BY into AZ. And similarly for rest of 2 though. Okay, Muhammad Umar?
Okay.
Okay, just write it down.
Done, sir.
Riba, any doubt?
No, sir.
Mohammed Umar, have you done?
I'm on the last one. Right.
Okay. Now, if A is equals to 3i plus j minus 2k and B is equals to I plus 2j and k. Find A cross B. Just put all the values in above term and simplify it. Try to solve. You may use A cross B equals to mod I cap, J cap, K cap, mod component of first vector, that is A, 3, 1, minus 2. Component of vector B, 1, 2, and 1. I cap having position 1, 1, so it will be positive. J cap will be negative and K cap will be positive. Now expand using the above method. So for first part, for I cap, just remove or place your finger vertically and horizontally. You're left with 1, minus 2, 2, and 1. Similarly, if you put your finger on J, you will left with 3, minus 2, 1, and 1, plus K cap, you will get 3, 1, 1, and 2. Now, on going from top to bottom, it will be positive, but going from bottom to top, it will be negative. So this will be positive, and this will be negative. This will be positive, and this will be negative. This will be positive, and this will be negative. So now just simplify it. So Bita, just check your calculation. Yes, Riba. If you expand, 1 into 1 will be 1, 2 into 2 will be 4, minus minus plus, so it will be plus 4. Minus of j cap, 3 into 1 will be 3. 1 into minus minus plus, so it will be 2. Plus k cap, 3 into 2 will be 6, and 1 into 1 will be minus 1. So you'll get 5 I cap minus 5 j cap and plus 5 k cap. Mohammed Umar, is it clear? Sabita, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Nida, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. So now if you want to calculate magnitude of this part, since this is A cross B, so to get A cross B mod, it will be root under x component square, so it will be 5 square, y component square, so it will be minus 5 square, and z component square, so it will be plus 5 square. 5 square will be 25, 5 square will be 25, 25 root under, or it will be root under 75, so it will be 5 root 3. Okay, just write it down till this part. Riba, any doubt?
No, sir.
Rehab, is it clear till this part?
Yes.
Okay. Now there is some condition related to this cross product, which is called condition for co-linearity. Collinear means if 3 points which are aligned in a straight line, or you will say if you have 2 vectors which must be coinciding on one another, so it will be termed as collinear. So if one vector is coinciding on other, which means theta will be 0, for which sine 0 will be 0. So A cross B will be 0. Now if you put A cross B to be 0, and if you simplify it, you will get AX over BX is equals to AY over BY is equals to AZ over BZ. In last class, that is in class 10th, there was chapter number 3rd, linear equation 2 variable, where we have learned 3 different conditions for a straight line or pair of straight line. One is intersecting, second is parallel, and third is coinciding, for which the ratio of their coefficient of x, y, and constant was similar to this. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Just write it down. Now there is some application for this cross product. Or you will say geometrical meaning. Suppose first vector is this term, that is A, and there is another vector B. If we draw parallel to A along this side and parallel to B along this side. So this will be A and this will be B. So length of this arrow from this point to this point will be A itself. Length of B from this point to this point will be B itself. And suppose there is some theta in between. So if you draw a vertical line from this point to this, since this vertical line is opposite to this theta, so it must be perpendicular component. So according to resolution of vector, perpendicular component will be sine term. And now for this parallelogram, if you calculate A cross B mod, it will be AB sine theta. A and B sine theta. A in this parallelogram is defining you base, and B sine theta is defining you corresponding height. So base into height will define area of parallelogram. So from this we can conclude cross product or magnitude of cross product will define you area of parallelogram defined by adjacent side as 2 vector. Is it clear? So similarly, if you have to calculate area of triangle, it will be half of area of parallelogram, or it will be half of A cross B mod. Is it clear till this part? Okay, just write it down. You all have written? Muhammad Umar? Now there is a relation between dot product and cross product, and there is some property. First, A dot B equals to B dot A, as dot product is scalar product, which defines you nothing but magnitude only. So 2 into 3 and 3 into 2 both will be 6. So it is termed as commutative law. So it means dot product obeys commutative law. But if we apply for cross product, let's say if you have 2 vectors A and B, and if you move from A to B along this direction, so resultant will be along this using left hand Fleming's rule. And similarly, if you move from this point to this point, resultant will be along this direction. So due to rotation or due to orientation from A to B and B to A, direction will get reversed. So you will say A cross B will be opposite of B cross A. So it is termed as anti-commutative law. Is it clear? So this will be direction of A cross B, and this is direction of B cross A. Yes? Mohammad Umar, do you want to ask something?
No, sir.
Okay. There is one more relation related to this dot product and cross product. A dot B equals to A B times cos theta. Similarly, A cross B mod equals to A B sin theta. Now, if you divide these two terms, you will get tan theta equals to A cross B mod divided by A dot B. This is also called Lagrange relation. Is it clear? Okay, just write it down. So this is all about cross product and dot product or product of any two vector. Since in the second part for cross product, if we take direction A cross B, or if you use Fleming's left-hand rule, A is along this direction and B is at this point. So thumb will point vertically upward if you use your finger. But if you move from B cross A, your thumb will move or define downward direction. Is it clear? That's why A cross B is opposite of B cross A. That's why I have put negative sign here, which means it obeys anti-commutative law. Is it clear to you all till this part?
Yes, sir.
Nida, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. You all have done till this?
Yes.
Okay. So this is all about this product. So just revise this whole part and try to do more and more problem related to this. In next class, we'll start projectile motion. Okay. Okay then.